22 and up. If you haven't kissed anybody, hit my line, please. We can figure it out together. Oh my god. Hi guys, the setup is a little bit different today. New location unlocked. Right now you're in my bedroom. We're literally sitting in my bed because I feel like the vibe of today's video is gonna be different than our last video. This is definitely like a sit down conversation because we're really gonna be diving deep into my lore today, and I just feel like this is kind of the vibe. Like, I wanted it to be chill. If you're eating something right now, like, grab a snack because there's not gonna be a lot going on visually. Like, this is just something more to like listen to. Anyway, if you clicked on today's video, it means you've already read the title, and I'm here to say, yes, the rumors are true. I am 22 and I've never kissed anyone. And that's literally what we're gonna talk about today. That's it. That's all. I feel like there are actually a lot of 22-year-olds that haven't kissed anybody, but I feel like a lot of them probably aren't online telling people. I literally have an entire notes app of reasons why I haven't kissed anybody, and I literally even called my sister and we spoke for a few hours and we just like unpacked a lot of stuff. Also, like, warning, I might cry because when I talked to my sister on the phone about this, I did cry. I don't know if I'm gonna cry today, but I guess we'll find out. So if you're all weird about people crying, then I'm so sorry. It might happen here, and get used to it because it happens a lot. Let's actually get into it now. I'm gonna start reading from the list. So, why haven't I kissed anyone? First of all, I grew up in a strict household. And it's so weird, like, because our parents are so chill now. Like, our parents are really, really chill. They're super cool now. They're both like the nicest people ever. But growing up, they were also nice, but they were really strict. I don't know what it was. Important thing to remember, I also want to preface this with the fact that it's our parents' first time on earth too, okay? Like, our parents aren't perfect. Nobody's parents are perfect. They're trying their best with what they knew. They did the best they could with what they knew. They didn't have the internet either, so you get the point. But yeah, I grew up in a really strict household, particularly when it came to like dating. Absolutely not, no go, unless you want to have a really, really bad time. Like, don't date anybody ever. So like, by the time that my sister, I think, started talking to boys, I feel like I lived vicariously through her, watching her get in trouble anytime she tried to talk to a boy. And I think that's kind of when I was just like, oh my god, I guess I'm like never gonna talk to boys ever. Like, I guess I just like can't do that because my sister keeps getting in trouble. I remember there was like this one particular time where my sister, this is also like a while ago, like pre-iPhone. So my sister, this is when you had to like pay for texting minutes. You had to pay for minutes and you had to pay for the amount of text that you sent. So my sister, I guess, had just been sending texts after 10 p.m. and my parents, I don't even know how they did this. Like, I don't even understand how it works, but they had gone to like our phone plan provider. They went to our phone plan provider. They looked through all of the text messages that my sister had sent, and she was texting boys, like not even in like anything like crazy freaky, literally just like texting a boy. And I guess any text that was sent past 10 p.m. they were like, this is unacceptable. And so they printed out all of the text messages that she sent past 10 p.m. and they sat her down and they went over all of the text messages. And I just remember seeing that and I was like, oh, woo, I'm never gonna want to deal with that ever, girl. Ooh, that was so awkward. And I feel bad for her though. That's her, she'll probably go into that story on her own one day because that was just crazy. Yeah, seeing that kind of stuff, I was just like, oh my god, I guess we're not allowed to talk to boys, so you will not catch me talking to boys because I'm scared, and I just didn't, I didn't want my parents' wrath. Moving on to my next point, I have really low self-esteem. I don't know why I'm laughing. I think I'm laughing because it makes me uncomfortable to talk about this. This has honestly like gone back to childhood. Like, I've just always kind of felt this way, and I feel like a lot of it is growing up with a sister. And I will say, like, having a sister is literally like the best thing ever. I am so grateful to have a sister, and I wouldn't give it up for the world. Like, so many of the things I think I like about myself are because of my sister. And growing up, I just copied so much of everything that she did because I wanted to be her so bad, because I don't know, I love my sister and I look up to her. I don't know if it's like a little sister thing or just a sister thing in general, but I really looked up to my sister a lot growing up. And I'm so grateful to have an amazing older sister. I think though, where having a sister gets a little bit confusing is that there's a lot of comparison, and this has even happened to us online, and she's briefly talked about it online, how like we don't really like when people compare us online, just because that's literally been our entire lives growing up, just like getting compared to each other all of the time. And we have a pretty big age gap. Like, we have a 5-year age gap, and I think just like all of the comparing really kind of messed with my self-esteem growing up. I remember like one incident in specific. I think I was around like 10, and my sister, we have a 5-year age gap, so she's like 15, and had to take a break for a second, but someone really close to me, like somebody that I respected, that I had a lot of respect for, was talking about me and my sister. And then they were just like, yeah. And I've just always thought, like, your sister's just so much prettier. And I was just like, wow. And the thing that like makes me really sad about this now is when I was, again, we have like a 5-year age gap. So this is somebody comparing a 10-year-old to like a 15-year-old. Or maybe I was a little bit older. Maybe I was like 12 and she was 17, but big age gap. I remember when I heard this as a kid, like this is what makes me so sad to think about it now. Because as a kid, it didn't even make me sad. I just remember thinking like, oh my God, finally somebody's being honest with me. Like I've always had this thought. I've always felt like my sister was so much prettier than me. And I've already had this thought. And so it was like almost, I don't even know, it didn't even make me sad at the time. It kind of just felt like my thoughts were being validated. And I was like, oh, I'm just so glad to finally hear somebody say it. Like, I've already known that my sister's so much prettier. And just to hear this person say it, I was like, oh, now I just know for sure. And that just makes me so sad to think about now. Because I'm like, oh my God, first of all, why would you say that to a kid? Why would you say that to a kid? My sister's also really funny, so it was like I couldn't even like be the funny one because I was like, oh my God, first of all, she's already the pretty one, and now she's also the funny one, and I actually just can't even handle that. But what I learned is that we each have our own personality, we're each our own special little person, and that's not something that one should even compare, and blah blah blah. You get the point. Me and my sister were really close. We love each other so much, and things are pretty awesome now, and we talk about it a lot, and we're really open with each other about how these things affected us, and I think it's good that we get to talk to each other about it now, now that we're older, because, I don't know, it really actually affected both of us way more than we thought. Next one is high school. All throughout middle school, I don't even know, do people start talking to people in middle school? Like, do people start romantically messaging people in middle school? I don't know. I don't think those thoughts had even really entered my brain. Like in middle school, maybe like a little bit, because I for sure got caught having like screenshots of Joe Sugg Snapchat stories on like my iPad or something, or on my iPod. My sister brings this up all the time. She always makes fun of me. But definitely I had the interest in boys during that time, but I wasn't even like ever trying to message boys for real. By high school, yeah, didn't try to talk to boys like my freshman year of high school, didn't even try my sophomore year. And again, those were like the years where I had been told that my sister was a lot better looking than me, and that was like probably when it was happening the most, so I also just felt like super effing fugly. But yeah, my junior year was like the first year where I was like, oh my gosh, I think that there are a few people that are a little bit interested in me. Like that was the first time I had like heard through the grapevine like, oh, so-and-so thinks that you're cute, and I was like, oh my God, so-and-so thinks I'm cute, but I can't do anything about it because I'm not allowed to date. But you know what? I did it anyway. I was like, you know what? I don't care. They can print my text messages out. So I started trying to talk to boys. What I quickly found out though is that anytime I did try to talk to a boy, like anytime I tried to message a boy or get into any kind of shenanigans, girl, it literally led to drama every single time. Like drama. And I hate drama. I'm a girl with generalized anxiety. Just going about my regular everyday schedule, I feel like I have more anxiety than a regular human being. And so drama on top of that, I was like, oh my God, I actually like really cannot handle this. I can't do it. I can't cope. I don't know how to handle this. And then I realized, I was like, dang, this must be why girls are always getting into drama at school. I was like, it's literally because of the boys. Because once I stopped talking to boys in high school, then I was like, oh, drama free once again, and life was great. Basically, it was like a scenario where this boy liked me, and then girl didn't like that this boy liked me. They got really mad. Their friends got really mad at me. It scared the hell out of me. It became a thing that, I don't even know if it was like a big thing, but it was a big thing to me. It scared the hell out of me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm never actually going to talk to a boy ever again because this was genuinely traumatizing. I don't want the drama. I don't think it's worth it. I'm not gonna date the boys. My mom and dad were right. And I feel bad in hindsight because some of the boys were genuinely so nice. They were so nice. But it just never worked out, partially because of the drama, and also partially because at that point I had already waited like so long to even start dating or even start talking to boys that it was just so awkward, and I was just so awkward that it also just didn't work out because they were like, girl, what the hell is wrong with you? And I was like, I actually don't know either, but I really don't understand how to communicate with you. Because when I talk to girls, like I just feel like there is the emotional deep connection and understanding, and we're just like this, like immediately I'm like, we get it. But with guys, I don't know how to, I can't get into it. Like I don't know how else to put it other than that I just don't understand them. Like I just don't get it. And it's not that I'm trying not to understand them. It's not like I'm like, ugh, you guys are gross, like don't talk to me. Because at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm 22 and I haven't kissed anybody, like please talk to me. But I feel like my humor just doesn't, like it's like a magnet. It's like when you get those two magnets and then you try to put them together, but they're like the same charge, and then it does the thing where it like, that's how it feels. I'm like, we just don't get each other. So yeah, whether or not it was because I wasn't allowed to date or the drama, or because I had like waited so long to date that I was weird, it just never worked out. On to my next point. It is so unbelievably hard to find somebody else that is 22 that has never kissed anybody. Because like, ideally for me, I know some people say it's good to have one person in the relationship that knows what they're doing and they can kind of like guide you. So people are always like, well, it's good to have one person that knows how to kiss. Like, you're gonna want one person that knows how to kiss. But I'm like, no, actually no. I need to kiss somebody that has also never kissed anybody before, just because I cannot handle like somebody thinking that I'm bad at something. Like, I have this overwhelming need to be good at everything that I do, and I know that I'm gonna be bad at kissing when I start, because hello, I'm 22 and I'm starting late, like extremely late. I shouldn't say that. Everybody moves at their own pace, okay? But I feel like in my opinion, I'm starting a little bit later than my peers. So obviously I'm not gonna be very good at it. And I just have this need to be good at everything. And so I need somebody that has like absolutely nothing to base it off of. But the only issue with that is that literally nobody else I know that is 22 has also never kissed anybody. Oh, believe it or not, most people like to have fun and enjoyed their adolescence and kissed whoever they wanted. But some of us didn't, and now some of us are a little bit weird and a little bit nervous, and I don't know. The analogy I always use to explain it to people is, I'm like, imagine doing a race. Imagine the gun to start the race has already gone off and people have been running. I feel like my peers are about like 4 laps into the race and I just heard the gun go off. I'm like, oh my god, I should probably start running. But at this point, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so ahead of me in the race. I'm like, do I even want to even try? Like, do I even want to start the race at this point? And that's kind of where, oh, I'm getting sad again. Oh no, I'm getting sad. Oh no. That's where that yucky feeling enters, and I feel like, oh, I'm kind of a lost cause, and it's so, all these like really bad feelings that I don't really like to think about. What was I saying? How did we get to this topic? Oh yes, it's hard to find another 22-year-old that hasn't kissed anybody. They don't even need to be 22. At this point, 22 and up, if you haven't kissed anybody, hit my line, please. We can figure it out together. Oh my god. Moving on to our next big topic, girl. TikTok. TikTok changed everything for me. TikTok changed my life, and so I'm actually just so grateful every day for TikTok, because girl, literally, thank you so much. Life has been great. I will say, believe it or not, when you put your entire life online publicly, particularly on TikTok, it doesn't get any easier to kiss anybody. Like, it actually just gets so much harder. It just made dating really weird. I think mainly because people just kind of have this like perception of you. I just feel like I'm generally the same person that you guys are seeing online, but I just feel like I'm always afraid that if I start dating that I'm not gonna like live up to this perception that they have of me, or I feel like I have to act a certain way, because I think the first thing is that I'm way more introverted than people think. Because on camera, like I'm talking to a camera right now, like I'm talking to y'all, but I'm talking to a camera at the end of the day, and I'm just way more introverted than I think people expect. And so dating is also just really weird, because then I feel like I have to act like real extroverted, but then that's also just like not me, because I'm like, that's not who I am. And obviously there are people out there who like don't see my TikToks at all, but it's just, I feel like a little bit harder to get that clean slate. Also, now that I'm on TikTok, I'm not in school anymore, and I feel like school was the place to like meet people. It's like weird, I don't know where to meet people that are in my age group, because now it's like, I guess if I go to like these events that get put on, but the events that I'm going to, those people have definitely already kissed people. Like, these are hot people, and I'm like, you guys have been kissing people, like, just get away from me. Oh, another thing. Sorry, I'm reading off my note. I said, I literally cannot imagine getting physically involved with somebody. I just know I'm a person that struggles to like set boundaries and set like what I'm okay with, and so I just get really scared when it comes to like kissing people, because I'm like, I know that people my age at least, like, whenever there's kissing, like, it always goes beyond that, and I just have issues with like letting my boundaries be clear, and that's why I'm kind of just really scared. I'm like, I'm really afraid of who I'm gonna kiss, because I just feel like they're gonna want to go beyond that, and I'm not good at setting boundaries, and I'm just like afraid to even start and try and like get into that. I don't know, I'm starting to feel gross talking about this. Oh my gosh. Okay, next one. I was literally telling my sister about this, because my sister always thinks that when I say anytime I'm like in a situation where things could get romantic, like anytime a boy likes me, or I have the sense that they might want to kiss me, or they feel a certain way about me, like I just get this really sick, really like unsettling feeling in my stomach. And my sister was always like, no, that girl, like those are butterflies, like you're feeling excitement, like aren't you just like so excited? And I'm like, actually no. And the best way I can describe it is, the most similar thing I can compare it to is when I'm having an anxiety attack. It's the same feeling, like it's the feeling of impending doom, like that same feeling where my head feels like something has exploded in it, and then I just have that rush of adrenaline go down, but it's not butterflies, and I actually just feel ill. Like, not in a fun way, not in an excited way, in like a I need to literally get the F out of here, I'm freaking the F out. And my sister doesn't understand that. Every time I bring that up, I'm like, no girl, I'm 1000% sure it's not butterflies. Like, say what you will, girl, but I know how I feel, and it is for sure not butterfly related at all. I feel genuinely ill. I cannot. I feel like that was most of the list when it comes to why I haven't kissed anybody. I feel like that covered a lot of it. Now, let's get into the pros and cons of never kissing anybody, because I also sat and thought about those. I say we start with a con and then we do a pro. I feel like if we do a pro then a con, we're gonna end on a negative note, and then I'm gonna feel horrible. So let's do it the other way. Starting with a con. Oh, not many people want to date you. Yeah, so it turns out when you're 22 and you haven't kissed anybody and you're wildly unexperienced, not a lot of people are into that. A lot of people find it weird, and they're not rocking with that. But on the bright side, the pro to that is that it weans out a lot of people. It weans out a lot of I would say mean people. People that I think just we wouldn't vibe with anyway. And the people that are willing to date you are probably a lot kinder. That's the kind of kindness I need in my life. Like, I need somebody that's just like so non-judgmental and accepting. And so maybe it's a good thing that that the dating pool is smaller, because what's left is a bunch of people that are probably way nicer, I hope. That's what I'm telling myself. I don't know. Another con. I'm not a good friend to talk to when somebody is going through heartbreak. When my peers, when my friends are going through a breakup, I genuinely, I feel like normally I have a lot of blabber to say. Like, I could pretty much talk about anything, but when it comes to that, I think that's the only time where I'm like, ooh girl, I genuinely, I've got no clue. Which is so weird, because I feel like when it comes to emotions, I feel a lot of emotions. So I feel like I can relate to most emotions that people are feeling, but when it comes to that kind of thing, like being heartbroken, I'm like, ooh, I don't know how to help you. And I don't know what to say to you to make you feel better, and I'm sorry. And so I'm just like really not a good friend to turn to when people are in those kinds of situations. But I'm like, sorry girl, I have literally nothing to contribute. On the bright side, I've never been heartbroken. I'm a really emotional person in general. So I think this is a really great thing, because I've also talked to my sister and my brother about this. I'm like, I'm afraid of the person I'm going to be when I start dating people, because I just feel like I have it in me to have crazy girl tendencies, because I just already have crazy girl tendencies outside of dating. Like, just a lot of the stuff that I do, I'm like, literally, what am I doing right now? Why am I doing this? This is insane. Yeah, I feel like I'm a jealous person. I hate it, and it's like one of my least favorite things about myself. I actually hate how jealous I am, because it's just horrible and it really consumes me sometimes, which is why I feel like if I start dating, I'm really worried for that girl. I'm like, that girl is going to get heartbroken, unless I'm just dating the kindest person ever that is just also the most reassuring. Yeah. How did we get to this topic? I keep forgetting about what we're talking about. Oh yeah, I've never been heartbroken. Yeah, so pro, never been heartbroken. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna switch this one up and I'm gonna start with the pro. You'll see why, because there's a lot more to explain with the con. Basically, I said pro. I know what it's like to be single, and I've spent a lot of time figuring myself out. I feel like I actually have learned a lot about myself, because I've had so much time alone with myself. Like, I've spent so much time by myself, so much time just talking to myself, not even talking to myself, but just like thinking about my life and thinking about the things that have happened to me. I've spent a lot of time in therapy talking about things, and I just feel like I've learned a lot about why I am the way I am, and who I am, and who I want to be, and what I want to be. And even though I feel like I still have no idea what I want to be and who I am, I feel like I have a better idea than I would have had if I started dating a little bit earlier. Not saying that dating earlier is a bad thing, though. I feel like everybody figures out who they are at their own pace, but I just feel like, hey, maybe I got to figure out who I am a little bit sooner. The con to that, though, is that I've spent so much time being single, and I haven't even enjoyed being single. Like, I didn't even get to have the fun parts of being single, because I feel like the reason why people like being single is they get to go out. They get to go out with friends. They get to have like single activities. They get to flirt with guys. They get to flirt with girls. They get to flirt with whoever they want to flirt with. But I don't do that. Like, when I go out and about with my friends and we're having like single activity, I'm just so awkward to bring around, and I feel bad. I feel like dead weight. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, thank you for bringing me, because I mean, thank you for inviting me to the function, but at the end of the day, I don't know how to function at the function. Like, I'm being weird, and I feel like they're always like, girl, what are you doing? Like, because I don't know how to flirt. Oh, which brings me to my next point. Pros and cons aside, this is just a side note. I don't understand how to flirt at all. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I'm being so genuinely serious that I cannot tell what it is. I feel like I generally have a good idea of what's going on. Like, I can read social cues most of the time, but when it comes to flirting, No, none. I have none. I have no idea what's going on. And my sister points this out to me all the time. She's like, you are just actually impossible. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I just can't tell. And it's paining me as much as it's paining you. I promise it's actually paining me more. Because I wish so bad to know. I wish so bad to know when somebody thinks I'm cute. Can't tell. Cannot tell at all. Unless somebody's like super blunt and they're like, hey girl, I like you. You're awesome. I think you're so pretty and you're awesome. I think unless they do that, I just can't tell. And I've been trying to watch Friends. Like, I've been watching a lot of Friends recently because I feel like there's a lot of flirting in Friends, and I'm trying to understand it. Like, I'm trying to practice, but I just don't get it. I feel like I give an off-putting vibe. I give a yucky vibe, and I feel like it's the vibe of somebody who just can't tell when somebody's flirting. And I'm always afraid that I'm coming off as rude or like standoffish, but it's really just, I can't tell. Girl, I can't read the flirting social cues, and I'm so sorry. I didn't start early enough, and now I'm old, and I don't know what's going on, and I'm sorry. But bringing the flirting thing back to the single activity thing, yeah, I never get to have fun going out on single activities. Like, I'll have fun with my friends if I'm with my friends, but when it comes to those kind of single activities, like flirting with people, I don't even really get to experience it, because I'm not flirting with anybody, and if they are flirting with me, I can't tell. I'm looking through the rest of this, and I think that we covered most of it. Wow. I didn't really get that emotional, aside from the beginning, which I did not expect it to happen immediately, but I feel like I did a pretty good job of like not getting sad and not thinking about it too much. Because when I really think about it, and I think about it for too long, and particularly when I think about it at night, it really makes me feel horrible. And that's another thing though that we're not gonna get into today, because I don't feel like feeling horrible, sorry. But in conclusion, if you're dealing with similar feelings, genuinely, it's okay. Like, girl, we're gonna be okay. We're all moving at our own pace, and we're gonna figure it out eventually. And I think it's also important to not feel shameful about it. I feel like that's kind of what makes the whole situation so anxiety provoking, is once you start feeling shameful about it. Like, it's not something to feel shameful about, because it's more normal, I think, than people make it out to be. You know, we're all moving at our own pace. We're chill. We're gonna be okay, I promise. And we're gonna be okay together, girl. And I also think that it's only as sad as you let it be. You know? If anything, it can be funny. Like, you can make it whatever you want it to be. And I prefer to look at it and think that it's funny. I prefer to think that it's kind of charming, you know? Like, oh, maybe it's so funny and charming the way that I haven't kissed anybody and I'm 22, you know? And another thing that I really want to emphasize is that we shouldn't let anybody pressure us into doing something that we really don't want to do. I feel like a lot of how I felt, just like, especially when I was in college, like, I don't know if it was just like the dating culture of the college that I was going to, but I just feel like there was so much pressure. But it was like, girl, just get it over with. Like, you've already waited this long, like, just get it over with, kiss whoever you want. But now, knowing myself, like, spending even more time with myself alone, I just know that that's not what I personally want, and I don't feel comfortable with that. If you feel comfortable and you feel like it's your time to shine, and you're like, girl, you know what, it's been so long, I'm getting it done, then girl, go get it done. But if you don't feel comfortable and you still feel like you're not ready, don't let anybody pressure you into doing something that you don't feel comfortable doing. Because at the end of the day, like, you want your experience to be a good experience, you know? So if you feel ready, go for it, girl. Get outside your comfort zone and have fun. Let me know how it goes and give me tips. If you don't feel comfortable, don't let anybody pressure you into doing anything that you wouldn't want to do. All right, all that being said, sorry, today's video was a little bit boring, but I feel like this is just something I wanted to talk about. I feel like I wanted you guys to really understand the lore. If we're on YouTube, girl, I feel like this is the place to talk about it. So I'm hoping to have something more exciting next week. Comment what kind of videos you want to see. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and go follow my Instagram at Erica M. Titus. My TikTok is Erica Titus, but really, girl, please follow my Instagram. I'm like, nobody follows me on Instagram. Thank you so much for having a cute little chat with me today. My back hurts from sitting on this bed the whole time. I thought that it was gonna be comfortable, and it actually is kind of sore. So, oh my god, should we kiss? Nope, I thought about it, it made me feel weird. Okay, I'm gonna blow you a kiss instead. Thank you for staying tuned, love you guys.